In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to give your equipment a new life. So what to do with old equipment if it can still be used, or if not, how to recycle it responsibly. Hi, it's Matt from Check Room here, and let's jump into it. Giving your equipment a new life might seem like an easy thing to do, but it really isn't. There are a lot of things to consider. We're going to talk about 5 different options what to do with old equipment. And make sure you stick until the end, because I have a couple of important things you shouldn't forget to check before getting rid of your equipment, and especially old electronics. So let's start from the beginning. The first and most noble way to give your equipment a new life is to donate it to a charity. If we're talking about IT equipment, camera gear that is still in good working condition, and you'd like to give back to community, you could donate it to a school, a church, or another organization. There are plenty of people that would really appreciate the help. So just Google where to donate camera equipment or IT equipment near me, and you're likely to find a good option. The second option is to resell your equipment and give it a new life through that. Just because you or your company no longer have a use for an item doesn't mean it has no resale value. So you can trade it in for cash by selling it online. While doing that, make sure you mention the exact specifications, model, brand, etc., to make it easy to find for others. Take great pictures, but don't lie about the condition of the equipment. You don't want to waste anyone's time or your own. The third option to consider is to just keep your equipment as spare parts. So your camera suffered some severe damage, but the lens, the memory card, the batteries are still good to go. Then why don't you just keep them as spare parts? Of course, if you buy a new camera and the lens doesn't fit or the batteries don't fit, but still, just keep that option in mind. The fourth way to give your equipment a new life is to recycle it. How to recycle equipment responsibly is not as easy as it seems. Depending on the country you're operating in, you will have to take the rules and regulations for equipment disposal into account. So do your homework and make sure your equipment is recycled properly and that it doesn't just end up in landfills. By the way, there are some mind-blowing videos on YouTube on the dark side of electronic waste. So if you're interested, definitely go check those out. Last but not least, the fifth option to really give your equipment a new life, we are talking about electronics here, is having them refurbished and repurposed. Large tech companies are recovering and recycling old equipment this way. They make sure all data is safely removed, so it's ready for new owners. If your company isn't a big tech company, but you still want to give your devices a second life, you can always outsource the refurbishing and reselling process. If you like what you've heard so far, make sure you give us a thumbs up. It really makes a huge difference. But now that you've got a better idea of all the different options, there's still 2 things that you need to make sure of before saying goodbye to your equipment. Check that your electronics don't contain any personal or company data secrets. It's especially important when getting rid of computers or smartphones. So make sure you erase all sensitive data. And note that on a computer, erasing everything and emptying the recycling bin is probably not enough, as your data might still be recoverable. That's it. So now that you know how to get rid of old equipment, it's time to organize your existing equipment in a better way. To know how, go check out those videos. Hi. It's okay. And make sure you stick until the end. One more time, maybe.